G'day folks, it's good to be back in. Sorry it's taken me so long to get a video out. It's just been a lot going on lately and I've kind of just been putting it off, to be honest with you. So here it is, it's the Max Nano. It's probably been quite a long minute since my last video. If you go back and take a look at this one here, or to compare the last video, compare this one, sorry, you notice there's been a lot that's changed. I've changed houses again. Like I always keep saying, it's like every time I put up one of these videos, I just get cursed. Something always bad happens, so well, we'll see what happens now, I suppose. Now I've just put this one up. But anyways, so as you can see, I've had some ridiculous growth in some of my corals. I've even put in a couple of new ones here. That's my two acros there. That's my what's it called? My bird of paradise little snap off there. Everything in this tank has just been growing absolutely freaking bunters. It's my little orange digitata there. He's a new addition. There's been a few new additions in this tank here, but in fact I've actually had to get rid of a lot of corals in this tank as well. I'm telling you, I've just had so much growth despite everything that this tank has gone through. All the different crazy things, the moving here, the moving there, the overheating, all of it. It just seems to keep bouncing back and just kind of shows you the resilience that corals really have, how they can kind of withstand so much and just keep sort of pushing through it. But anyways, it's a bit of a run and gun. So as you can see here, this is my fuzzy morph. I think in my last video I was pretty excited about the potential for it to split, and as I said, this has been splitting all over that rock. I've actually had to isolate it so it doesn't split everywhere and go all over the place, kind of like my zoanthus have, as you can see back on that rock over there. This is my galaxy here. He's grown ridiculous as well. He's probably still one of my most favourites. I love him to bits, but I need to keep him very far away, otherwise they will sting everything. That's my acans here, my little acan rock. It's grown quite nice. It's actually beginning to fuse together, so it's actually pretty exciting. Little Leptostraya, I think that's called. And this is my bird's nest. And this thing just continues to amaze me, just how much it grows in such a short amount of time. This tank is only about just under a year old. And some of these corals aren't even that. And they've gone from literally being like 1 or 2 twigs to becoming these massive balls that they've become pretty much. It's starting to reach that point where it's starting to mature, so I'm getting pretty excited about it. This is my candy cane and a couple little zoanthus that are just kind of dotted in around I've had to look really hard to get some proper real estate within this tank, but I'll take anywhere I can find, and so I have to remove a few. Right there where that rose pavona is, used to be my old Duncan, which I had to get rid of regrettably. He was one of my favourites as well, but he was just too big and just spreading out too much. That's pretty interesting. That there's my Blaster Musa. So it managed to shoot a polyp up onto the rock above it, where it started growing onto. So there's a few cases where my Blaster Musas have actually kind of shot some polyps out around the tank, and they've started growing elsewhere within the tank. Same with these the zoanthus there, the bam bams. You can see before, there's a couple of them just laying on the floor. They're kind of just popping themselves off the rock a little bit, and then they're kind of just drifting around the tank, and they just take refuge, or they sort of latch onto a rock somewhere and start growing. It's pretty crazy what some of these corals have been doing within this tank. My chalice there is just growing out of control as well. Don't think I'll ever be fragging it though. I think I want to let that one just keep growing and growing. I think it's pretty exciting. Eventually I'll get a massive tank in which I'm getting the itch for, but until then, I think I might keep this. I think I might keep the Max Nano going for about another year or so before I decide to get another tank. I really want to just see what I can do with this tank here. You can see here my anemone, which my porcelain crab has finally found again, and the two have married up and fell in love. I'm super happy about it. Too bad the clownfish isn't doing it, but that's alright. There's my frog spawn and my hammer coral. Hammer coral's just constantly splitting heads. It's unbelievable what that thing has been doing. And there's my angelfish, which I'll probably do a video on that one eventually. Do a bit of a sort of talk on whether they're reef safe or not, my thoughts on it. There's Oscar, the orca dottyback. He's a pretty cool dude. He's just chilling in the back there, seeing what's going on. My green Cyphastria, another type of chalice. That thing there started off as just a tiny little sliver at one point, about maybe a year ago, and it's just growing into this massive plate. So slightly worrying because of how close it is to my bird's nest. Sorry, and as you can see, there's a little bit of bleaching on the tip of one of those twigs, and I'm assuming that's because a sweeper has come out and stung them. So I'm going to do a bit of a top-down view here, so I can show you what is going on with the tank, pretty much. Just showing you what it's like from the top-down view. So, unfortunately, with the blue light, some of the red corals, that kind of stuff, it's pretty hard to see. They kind of blend in a bit there, but all my greens, they just sticking out like you wouldn't believe. That bird's paradise is pretty bloody awesome too, and can't wait to start fragging him eventually and start expanding, getting them out there to the rest of the hobbyists. A lot of these corals here I will eventually start to frag just because it's such a small tank. I'm kind of going to need to, but I kind of want to just keep leaving things go. I really want that orange digitata to start growing, because that's going to be a cool dude to start fragging. I mean, they cost so much over here in Australia. That bit there was pretty dear as well, so I really want to get him to grow well and move on. But as you can see, my fish, they're all out and about now because I turned the flow off. Usually when I turn the flow off, they kind of expect food, so there's the type of food I give them, some marine pellet kind of thing. I spoil these guys a bit too much. They're my babies, so I need to give them the food that they're wanting. No, I did used to have another clownfish in here, your classic sort of orange and white ones, but the black and white one there didn't think that he was a good enough housemate anymore and decided to kill him. So that was pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's what happens when you deal with clownfish. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, no, guys, it's a pretty average update here. I'll try and keep them coming a bit more now that I can actually do these. I've worked out how to use iMovie, so I can actually do some voice recording over the top of these things. I don't have to do it in front of the aquarium. That there is my blaster moose, actually, one of the other ones that kind of popped off the tank. But yeah, no, this is just a nice little, update pretty much for you, just kind of see how everything's going, and yeah, catch you later. Peace.